Hello, I'm Grant Brunner, editor-in-chief of VideoGame.town. We're playing X-Men, the arcade game, one of my all-time favorites. It is purely by chance that it is my favorite arcade game, or one of my favorite arcade games, is because one, it was available where I lived. Two, I loved the X-Men in the 90s. And three, I was able to play it when I was able to have access. My parents would give me quarters to go play it. So, I don't know. Storm? I do think to some extent. I think to some extent. It is just the artwork that I have wild affection for. The gameplay is it's a beat 'em up.
Only hope is X-Men.
I do think that having the 6 players is
save the city.
cool as hell. And this Maximum Collection has multiple versions. It has the 2-player and 4-player version, which is like the regular 4x3, and then it has the 6-player version, which is the Extendo cabinet. But I think it looks cooler this way. Storm rules. I do think Storm was probably my go-to when I was playing this. I also like Wolverine. I mean, Wolverine was my favorite character in the 90s. But I think that there was, to some extent, it was like I found her tornado thing to be really effective, and I think that's why I ended up using Storm a lot. I wouldn't say that any of the mutants in this game are wildly I don't think any of them are wildly different playing from each other. I would say they're all pretty different, but specifically the mutant power, I think Storm's is. I mean, it definitely looks cool. I went and I beat the 4x3, the 2-player version. I went and beat it as Dazzler yesterday, and liked it. She's kind of like a bomb, like a grenade. More games needed to be widescreen. Seeing the widescreen, it's also ultra widescreen with this, because it was multiple screens in a cabinet. I just think it feels so out of place with what the visuals were able to be at this point, what the 2D graphics look like. I just think it looks so fucking cool. And the version that I have, I remember, I don't think, because in this game the 4-player version is just a 4x3 screen, so I don't think the 4-player cab had the multi-screens. I think it was just the one screen. So that means that what I played when I was a kid was the 6-player version, the 6-player cab. because I definitely remember there being multiple screens. And when I was younger, I had to like look it up, but like I couldn't remember if it was the 4 or 6 because this was 30 years ago. It was a long time ago. And this was in the Dover Mall in Dover, Delaware. It doesn't exist anymore. The Dover Mall still exists, but the arcade doesn't exist anymore. It changed hands at some point. It was bought by the Namco arcade unit or whatever, like that part of Namco. And so for a while, it had a lot of Namco games in it, which is sick, which I liked a bunch. But in the 90s, in like this would have been in the earlier mid-90s, I was playing this. It was not Namco.
Storm.
I would often play, because I was fairly young. I often just play with my dad. Me and my dad would pump a bunch of quarters into the X-Men cab. And I know that this artwork is based off of like an animated version that didn't kind of like never went anywhere. But I like this art style. Storm. I should track down and see, like, if I assume that like whatever pilot or early stuff that has this art style that the game ended up using. I wonder if that, like, if it exists in a viewable state, or if they even finished it. I assume that like a pilot exists. This will blow everyone's mind, was very into the 90s X-Men TV show. It was my jam. What? Sucks.
Storm. Nothing. Nothing.
Also, I don't know. I don't remember Storm ever having beating dudes with a fucking staff or whatever. But I'm certainly not an X-Men historian.
X-Men. We have been taken by Magneto. However, we had time to locate their base on Island M. Destroy it.
X-Men Welcome to Die is also a real banger line. I love these Gator Boys. I just think that the art is really fantastic. A lot of detail that was pretty hard to replicate in any meaningful capacity on home consoles. Like you can, but you have to make a lot of compromises about when and where, and you can't. How big, certain things are on the screen, or how fast you can move, how smooth things will be. There's just a bunch of compromises to be made on, like a SNES or a Genesis. I gotta use the jump kick. It's a good jump kick. It's the other thing about arcade games is that they are very much designed to suck up your quarters, which sucks. It's a bad way to make a game, which I think is like instructive on why arcades died. It's like nobody wants to feel like they're being ripped off. Although I guess you're constantly being ripped off with free-to-play games. But they are free to play.
X-Men, welcome to die.
Welcome to die. Wendigo. It's also one of those tough things where, like, when you have a Z plane, it's like, what are you lined up perfectly to actually hit the Wendigo. This is also one of those games. I mean, it's a very common thing for a beat 'em up, but one of the things that it does later in the game is you just get, here's the bosses that you fought earlier. Now they're just fucking. It's like almost like a boss. It's basically a boss rush. That sucks. When there are actual quarters at play, that sucks. I have always been a fuck a boss rush person. Bosses are the worst parts of every game for me. Or when bosses were like how games were structured, it would always be like I would play a Zelda game, like I would play a Zelda level and just be like, oh man, this shit rules, and then it's like, oh man, I gotta fight the fucking boss. This is stressful and I hate it. I also think maybe having an anxiety disorder makes a lot of like risk-reward gameplay go like, I don't need any of this. I don't need more stress in my life. So like, it's maybe why like the FromSoft games don't work on me. Is because I'm just like, I'm already stressed out, man. I don't need a fucking video game to stress me out. Yeah, I mean, you're essentially doing the same thing over and over again, and with pretty limited variety. But that's kind of just how video games were at the time, and not to say that they're not still like that in some ways. I would say it's a fairly short loop. The gameplay loop is minimal. Oh, one of the nice things, you can line it up. I wish that this game had an achievement. You can line it up so that the Sentinels throw those fucking rocks at each other. See, that's the best. I love it when you can get the NPCs, the enemies to fucking attack each other just by lining it up correctly. That's the business. I also don't remember enough. Is this robot boy meaningful? Like, is this like a meaningful X-Men enemy? I don't. Like Pyro, Blob, Frost, Magneto, Mystique. And Robo Boy? I don't remember what the fuck this is. Also, who's this? Is this Jean Grey? Just some lady?
You must rescue the professor!
Sure.
The White Queen welcomes
Get fucked. This sucks. This sucks, you guys. You just, I guess it's like, oh, hope you saved a mutant power, because you're gonna eat a bunch of shit here. I hate those when they're just designed where it's like, no, you're gonna take hits. You're gonna take hits back. No. We need those sweet quarters. There should be an X-Men Telltale game, right? It just seems like it's ripe for that kind of drama. Like an Xavier's school. Like, these are fucking, like, late teenager is like 16, 17, 18, 19. Like those age, it's like it just seems like such a layup. Hate these fucking guys too. Love of Giant Sentinel. Love a Giant Sentinel. Oh, the Juggernaut. He's the Juggernaut bitch. This is also one of the problems with classic video game design, where it's just like, he's the Juggernaut, and I can just like, you know, beat him to death with a stick. This whole thing, he's basically impenetrable. Like, it can't be good. Like, it's, I don't understand. Video games are silly. Oh yeah, this is fucked also because you can accidentally walk off the screen. Like you can walk on that like lava bridge, you can walk off it with a mistake. Like that design fucking sucks. Where like you have the game where like 95% of it. See, look at all these fucking pyros. This sucks. Like 95% of it you can just move up and down and that's fine, but in these spots, get fucked. And I mean, I appreciate the different colors that they add to the Sentinels, but I would like different art. Like, I would prefer there to be more designs, but you know, I can't get a ship. Be fucking me. Oh right, here's some Pharaoh type bullshit. And I don't know if there are like Pharaohs specifically, because I think obviously there's like Apocalypse. I don't know if this is like supposed to evoke Apocalypse. Probably. I always because like Age of Apocalypse was happening when I was reading it, and I was relatively young. I always found Apocalypse like by far the spookiest of the X-Men enemies. I also really didn't like Omega Red's like whips. Like, I mean, like, it didn't like in that like I liked it, but it spooked me. The Omega Red like whips that are built into his arms, like that is some like real body horror shit. X-Men has a fair bit of body horror. Wolverine juts knives out of his hand that just rips open his flesh.
X-Men. Magneto is planning to attack Earth from his asteroid base.
Oh, the asteroid
Must foil his plan before it's too late. Go after the Giant Sentinel.
Sure. Did the Blackbird just go to space? Is that a thing that, like, in canon it does? Probably. I mean, it's comic books. So if the question is there some fucking bullshit? Then yeah, probably. Oh, I hate these. They're truly terrible. Unpleasant. controlling the weather, like, I understand, like, Magneto, look at this fucking guy. Like, controlling magnetism is, like, you can't, like, when you control, like, a fundamental part of the universe, it's overpowered, but controlling the weather is pretty fucking effective. What if I can flood these fucks? Indigo! This sucks. It also is, like, hard to even really fully explain. Like, did you not really, like, I mean, I guess it's just, like, it's comic or cartoon logic of, like, you beat them and just, like, left, and then they got up and went back to the base, and that's, although it doesn't really explain the, like, fucking, like, 800 pyros that I faced. Are they clones? Maybe. I wouldn't put weird nightmare clones past Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And this is not really Magneto, this is Mystique. Oh, fuck. Gets you in a corner like this. It's fucking... I assume the flashing, like, obviously it is indicating to you that they're, like, nearing, like, the end of their health bar. I wonder if it is an attempt to get you to put in, like, more credits if you die. Like, okay, if I do put in a quarter or whatever, or a token, if I do that, I'm probably gonna make it through this fight.
I am Magneto, Master of Magnet.
He's Magneto, Master of Magnet.
You are nothing.
He's in another place. It's here. He's here. Hello, it's me, Magneto. X-Chicken.
Storm. Kill you, shield.
Kill you, shield.
X-Chicken.
X-Chicken.
Come to die.
Also, like, is it possible? Is it possible that translations are too good now? And that it is sometimes good to get X-Men Welcome to Die in a video game. He's defeated. Note, the game is not over yet. We just also need to put that in more video games. Note. Watch the fucking credits, you piece of shit. Bow, bow, bow. No, these are great designs, and I think that what they end up with, like the X-Men animated series, are also good designs that have a lot of overlap with these. I think that there is some cool design stuff here that it would have been nice to have seen in the animated series. And then you just start over again. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna quit. This game also includes Captain America and the Avengers, which has the arcade version, the Genesis version, and I believe that's the NES version. Spider-Man, the Maximum Carnage, Super Nintendo and Genesis, Separation Anxiety, Super Nintendo and Genesis, arcade Spider-Man and X-Men, Arcade Revenge, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Gear, and Game Boy. The Silver Surfer NES game. I don't give a shit about basically any of these. We'll play a little bit of this. Region, difficulty, serious, start game, vision. I mean, Captain America is on the name of the game. Oh, it's a Data East game. The X-Men game is a Konami game. Captain. Okay, great. How do I fucking... Do I not... Hold on. Is there not, like, a dedicated throw my fucking shield button? His whole thing is that he can throw his shield. I swear to God, what happens if I... Okay. If I press jump and attack, that throws his shield. Okay. Throw a coal at? Oh. Okay. Because it would be a fucking problem if you couldn't throw your shield, and it's a Captain America game. It's a thing that we don't really do in video games that much anymore, is the like press two buttons at the same time. I mean, I guess we do, but it's less of a like you jam on them. It's more like you press them and then you press the next one. There's a lot of like when the number of buttons that we had available were limited. Okay, let me see if I can get this. There was a lot of press two buttons at the same time. Now it's like you hold down a trigger and then press the button that will do it. Like that, those kind of like button combinations, and less just like jam on two face buttons at the same time too. This is not as good, and the art's a lot worse. Like it's a lot worse. It's more about like this is more akin to what is possible on a SNES and a Genesis. Like even if like the color palette doesn't like perfectly match, this is about what you would expect those kinds of games to be able to do. Whereas, like, going to an arcade was exciting because you'd be like, here's some shit that you cannot see at home. This is fine. I'll do this ball. Also, is Whirlwind an actual Captain America enemy? Because it sucks. That's not a good character design. Do they know that? It's not as good by a lot. Hurry, Avengers. Also, it's so funny that like in a modern context. Let me go back. I'll save. And then it's like, well, people are gonna know who Captain America is. But Captain America and the Avengers is funny because it's like the Avengers didn't have the cultural appeal that it now does. It's just $25. If you feel strongly about, I would say, at least one of these, I think it's an okay price to pay. There are plenty of options. There's also, let's go back. It's a music player. You can look at manuals, which I think is cool. Box art. Yeah, that's cool, dude. Look at fucking that's how sick she looks. Yeah, no, that's cool. And advertisements. Some artwork. And see, this is obviously based on much more on the animated series. Silver Surfer. Yeah, that's some nice. Looks like cover art. Design documents of just Maximum Carnage. When they scanned it, they just scanned with the clip on it. That's funny. It's a neat pack. I wouldn't say it's not like it's not like one of those lovingly made, like, here's everything that you could ever have about this thing. It's kind of hit and miss with the extras. But if you love those games, this is a good way to play it. You can play X-Men, the arcade game, online. I don't think any of the other ones have an online mode. Yeah, but you can play X-Men, the arcade game, online. That's not bad. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I fucking love X-Men the arcade game. Alrighty, bye-bye.